Now that we've completed the roof plan, the 4 elevations, and our first and second floor plans, it's time to create some of the perspective views that we're going to be using. There'll be 2 3/4 perspective views and then also some interior pictures. So to start that, we're going to go back up to the camera and we're going to just click on ISO. And that will put our model into an isometric view, which basically means that there's no vanishing point. This is a stylistic feature used by architects sometimes. For our purposes, we're going to want to use perspective. So we're going to go up to the camera again and we're going to click perspective, and that'll probably look a little bit more normal. We're going to want to have a 3/4 view, which means that we want to see 2 sides of the building. And when you do this, you may want to do it as if you're standing in front of the house and approaching the house. So I'm going to pick my front door and my left side, and I'm going to now set that scene up, and then again click on the scenes window. I'm going to make a new scene and I'm going to call this 3/4 view front and left, just so that I know what it is, and hit enter. And now with my orbit tool, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to try to keep my eye view the same and just flip this over to the other side so that I see the back and the right side. This looks pretty good. I might just slide that over a little bit. Again, looking up at the house so that when we toggle between these two scenes, it's not going to look too strange. Again, plus button, add a scene, and this time we're going to call it back and right view. So we've got this set up. Now remember before when I said it would be good practice to have your first floor, second floor, and roof, as well as the windows and doors and furniture, isolated on separate tags. And this is why. Close the styles window for right now, and we can even close the outliner window, and we can just leave the scenes window open. What we're going to do now is turn on the tags window, and I want to start to create an idea of what the inside of the house is going to look like. So to do that, I'm just going to navigate over here, and I'm going to turn off the second floor, the furniture on the second floor, and the windows on the second floor, as well as the roof. So I'm going to turn off this roof all layer. And then I'm going to go down to where I had all my second floor stuff, and I'm going to click the turn off the windows, turn off the furniture, and turn off the walls. The reason I'm doing this is so that I can actually kind of look into the house and see where I want to place my figure. I'm just going to look in here like this, and I'm going to click this little figure guy, and I'm going to put this person into the model, and I'm going to just click right here in the corner, and it kind of brings me right into that perspective. Now obviously now I'm looking up into space, so I need to probably turn on that second floor walls so that I can see the top part of the house. Now, the eyeball here, if you click and you pull it to the right, it goes to the right, and if you pull it to the left, you can pull it to the left. This is the look around tool. You can also navigate similarly. You can see I just went outside the building by using the scroll wheel, so I'm just going to kind of set myself up here. I'm going to just zoom in a little bit. I can also navigate by holding the shift key and using the orbit tools and the pan tools as well. Now, you can see that this is very tight. Obviously, this is not going to really give me the full 180-degree view that you would normally have if you walk into a house. So what I need to do is change my field of view. To do that, I'm going to go up here to camera, and I'm going to go to field of view. And remember, it defaults at 32. You may want to try 60 or even 80. Remember that the wider you get, the more exaggerated things are going to look. So it's kind of a bit of a fine line to decide what it is you really want to do. The other thing you're going to have to pay attention to is also the eye height, and I'm going to show you that in a minute. So now when I zoom out, I'm not backing into the wall quite so much. And this gives us a pretty good, I'm just going to turn off the tags window here so we can see a little bit better. And you can see that this gives us a better idea of maybe what it would look like when we walk into the structure. So if I just sort of bring my eyeballs over here, and I can also, when I click the eyeball, I can set the height. And here in the lower right, you can see this is 4'6", but you might want to do 6'2". So now when you're looking around, you can look up, you can look down, and you can set up your view however you'd like. So I want to set this view up so it looks a little bit like I'm walking into the house. I'm going to set up this view, and I'm going to click the plus button, and I'm going to call this one entrance and click enter. So you might want to think about doing the scenes like where there's good views of your house. Well, I kind of like to do a kitchen view, so I'm just going to kind of navigate over here, and I'm going to move in a little bit, and then I'm going to click that eye tool, and I might go over to the right a little, and so that I can see more of that kitchen area. And again, my eye height has changed, so I'm going to, every time you click it, it changes a little bit. So I'm going to do 6'2" again, just so that we can kind of see into that kitchen. And then we've got the back door to the deck on the back. And so I'm going to click that, and I'm going to go back, and I'm going to say, I'm going to click new scene, and I'm going to call this one kitchen. And now I might zoom in a little bit more and maybe get something with the bathroom. With this example, I found it to be better to kind of go up into this corner here and then swing around. Obviously, these are not huge spaces, but we just want to see enough. And I'm going to create another scene for the bathroom. And then this scene will be looking back at the entrance. So I'm going to call this living room 1. And again, we might have to turn on because I don't have the roof on there. So I need to add that again. So I'm going to have to go back to my tags window, and I'm going to turn on the roof. So I'm going to add the second floor windows and the furniture so that I can look up in there. And I'm also going to turn on the roof. And so now we have a much better feel of what it would be like. Now I'm kind of like standing on the first landing here, looking up, or we could do it from the top. Now I could also maybe try to do a field of view that's a little larger as well. So let me go back down here. Let's see where we are. What happens if I turn it to 80? So things tend to get a little more exaggerated at 80, but it does kind of give us a good idea of what it might look like. All right, and we can make a scene with that. And then I'm just gonna zoom up here and try to put myself at a realistic eye level here. And then I'm gonna do the look around, and I'm gonna go this direction and look back down, because of course that is a big feature of my house. I kind of like that right there. And you can see how the roof structure or the roof texture is here. If I was, doing this with a high amount of detail, I would definitely remove that and I would change that to a white color or whatever color that I would want that to be painted. And then I'm going to use my eyeball again and get a sense for what the bedroom looks like. Now, even again, I might change my field of view here again. We do want this to look fairly realistic. And I want to do the eyeball height. Go back to our standard 6'2". And now I have a good view of the bedroom. So that's going to be my last one. And this is the bedroom.